Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel jam si Wave.
Yo, Abla, yo luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Ano lay waxal?
Bësal mu fine.
What?
Bësal mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. Ak Wave. Bësal mu fine. Wave. Your money is yours.
On Tuesday, the 19th of August 2025, it's 9 minutes past 9 o'clock in the morning in the Gambia, and you're listening to Coffee Time with Peter Gomez on West Coast Radio. Dr. Ismaila Ceesay is the Gambia's Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. Last week he wasn't here, this week he is, and we welcome him to the program. Welcome back.
Good morning, Peter.
I like your suit.
Thank you.
Very good. Where were you last week?
I was in Istanbul.
Tell me about that before we go on to.
Well, I was invited to attend a forum called the World Cooperation Industries, which brings a platform which brings together investors from Africa, but also from Turkey to do business. I was invited as a guest of honor, also to deliver a keynote address at the forum.
Really? Where was the trade minister? Where was the finance minister?
The trade minister attended.
Investment.
He attended last week. The last year's edition, and the organizers thought that this year they also wanted a minister a minister of information, because they wanted to know more about what's happening in the country. The trade minister could do it, but he was there last year, and he did a very good job. They are very happy that he was there. But this year they select, so they change every year which ministers go.
Fantastic.
So I was invited to go.
So what did you tell them about our country?
Well, that its environment is, Gambia is ready for business. Not only Gambia, but Africa itself is the future of investment. So if you invest in Africa, invest in the future. And that we have the right laws, the right regulatory frameworks, we have the right environment for people to come and invest. Gambia is open for business now. And just give them the sectors that are our priority sectors. For example, real estate is booming in this country. The entire agri-business, the entire value chain, the agricultural production, but also tourism as well. And the services sector. Also, Gambia has a priority to promote what we call light manufacturing. And countries like Turkey has a lot of industries that do light manufacturing. And some of them are contemplating coming to Gambia and set up shop in Gambia so they can do manufacturing. The advantage is that Gambia is strategically located in the middle of the world. And also the carbon footprint you leave when you export goods from Gambia to Asia, to Europe, to the US, to North, to South America is lower than if you export from Asia all the way to Africa. Also, the advantage is that it's easier for us to go down south as well. So our strategic location in making Gambia a maritime hub, but also an aviation hub for air travel. The youthful population, so labor is here. Labor which has also majority are skilled labor. Government has invested a lot in building vocational training institutions as well, so that we build that skilled labor, so the manpower is here. We have enough fertile land, we have enough water for the agri sector. For tourism, we have a pleasant weather, we're not far from the rest of the world. Our visa, it's easy to travel to Gambia as well. Also, the Ministry of Tourism is doing a lot of work to make sure that they diversify our tourism products so people can come for tourism in the Gambia. And the population is growing, and also we have access to a huge free trade area of almost 1 billion people, which is the
AFCFTA.
Exactly. So we have a wide market as well. So I think all these are attractive parameters to attract investors to come to
One
Gambia.
thing you say that many people might not agree with you is that we have enough fertile land. Land is a challenge in this country. You will know that most of the cases in court are over land. And you just agree that the population is growing.
Residential land, yes, particularly in the urban areas. But if you go up country, there is enough land. If you go to CRR, there is enough land for agricultural production. Go to Fonyi.
You are inviting investors only to invest in the agricultural sector.
Not
to come into real estate to.
No, that's what I said. That in real estate also, I think there is enough land. If you look at the whole entire TDA from Brufut here, Bijilo, all the way to Katong.
There's a fight over the TDA. I mean, the people of Sanyang are saying that areas that are being claimed for the deep sea port, for instance, don't fall within the TDA. Yet government is trying to, make them part of the TDA.
Well, that's another issue. But what I'm trying to say is that the real estate market is still vibrant in the Gambia because the population is growing and the population needs affordable housing. And I think we've got some reserved land, which is reserved for affordable housing. And I think the Ministry of Lands, under the leadership of Honorable Hamad Ba, is working towards... Exactly, Hamad NK Ba is working towards making sure that we bring the right investment to build affordable housing for Gambians. But also remember, Peter, as part of our drive for decentralization, and I think government has an ambition to remove what we call the rural-urban dichotomy. We don't want that to exist in the future. We want more urbanization. That is
to turn Gambia into a city-state.
Kind of. Look, okay, if you go to the US, if you go to the UK, for example, you go to London and you go to Birmingham or you go to Newcastle, you wouldn't find any difference. The services you get in London is the same services you get in Birmingham, in Newcastle. We don't want that divide, that dichotomy of rural, urban. We want that everybody, no matter where you live in this country, you live in dignity and you have access to all the facilities that makes you live a dignified life, access to quality healthcare, quality education, and also the recreational facilities. So we want Basse, Fonyi, CRR to be like urban, to have access to all the facilities so that we reduce rural-urban migration, because when people live in Fonyi or in CRR or in Basse and get access to the same facilities like the ones, like access to jobs, for example, access to good universities, access to good schools and good nursery school, they wouldn't come to the urban areas. In fact, people will move to rural Gambia. If you build a bridge between Banjul and Bara, North Bank becomes a city of its own. So this is the thinking with government, to bring in the investors, start investing in real estate, not only in urban area, but also in rural areas, to invest in the agribusiness. Gambia has fertile soil to grow tropical fruits, like guavas, like avocados, like pineapples. And I think these are things that we need, not only for our tourism sector, but also for export. And these are the kind of investments we are looking for. That is why currently we are going everywhere where there are investments forums to attract investors to come and invest in these sectors.
So who's expressed interest in coming to the Gambia, during your networking, I suppose, with your other colleagues?
Quite a few. I can't remember exactly, but I don't know quite a few are coming. And one of them wants to engage in light industry. That is light manufacturing. So they are coming. Some of them have started coming, in fact, to come and see. Because what you tell them, when you tell Gambia to them, they are very excited about the prospects and they want to come. So when they come and see what's happening. And then these things take time, but I'm hopeful that with time, Gambia will become a hub for trade, a hub for international trade, a hub for maritime transport, particularly the fact that now we are building a seaport in Sanyang, a hub for air travel. I mean, Gambia is, like I said, Gambia should have been the hub of air travel in the world.
Well, should have been, it's not, but you're saying that...
So now we are working towards that. That is why currently the Ministry of Works has...
Where would that airport be? Because Banjul International Airport, in terms of space, it doesn't seem to have...
Well, that is why currently, if you read the newspapers, I think 2 weeks ago, there has been an EOI, expression of interest, as sought for the airport expansion project. We want to expand the airport, bring more facilities, bring what they call transit facilities as well.
How do you expand? Are you going to take back some of the land that has...
No, there is still space there at the airport.
There's enough space for expansion?
Yeah, you can expand the parking.
To be a regional hub?
Yeah, of course, you can. You can build an extra runway. Now, because there has been encroachments, measures have been taken to protect the perimeter fence of the airport. It's still good enough to be expanded. There is still room for expansion of that airport. And I think with time, the government has plans. That is why we are calling on investors to come and invest in the airport expansion project so that Gambia becomes a hub for aviation, for air travel in the continent.
Okay, and when you say, when you go out and talk about Gambia to people, they are interested.
Yeah,
they're
excited and interested.
They're excited and interested.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that you oversell the country? You tell them things that
no. I mean, you don't oversell a country to people who would have the prospect of coming here. Then they would see. So
well,
what you
could say you want them here anyway, whether they end up investing or not.
No, you tell them the potentials, and the potentials are there out there. They can. I mean, we live in a world whereby now people can get information anywhere. So the potentials are huge, and the potentials are that we've got fertile land for the agricultural sector. We've got manpower, we've got labor. With our laws are friendly. Your capital is safe because when people invest, two things are important for them: a return on investment and security for their investments. If there are disputes, there are competent courts that can be able to arbitrate in disputes. The regulatory framework is also friendly. Your capital is safe. You can take your capital out if you want, but within the framework of the law, obviously. So investors want to see these things because when you come and invest your money, you want the return on investment, and you need to convince them that there's a potential for return on investment. Now, we also have a huge market, not only the Gambian market. Yes, we know it's a small market, 2.5 million people, but we have access to the sub-regional market as well, but also continental.
Senegal, 17 million at least.
Mali. Gambia used to be leading I think we still do to some extent the export trade, whereby because Mali doesn't have a sea, they are landlocked. Most of their goods come to Banjul. And the River Gambia, obviously, is a key resource for promoting trade in the sub-region. And I think there are even plans to build a kind of a dry port somewhere in Basse, so that goods going to Mali doesn't have to come all the way to Banjul, saving cost, time, and wear and tear. They can stock somewhere in Basse and go back, because the River Gambia even though it's not deep, you'll need smaller vessels to go up the river. But the river transport will also this is also another prospective industry, river transportation in this country, because of the River Gambia. So the potentials are huge. What we are trying to do as a government is now to sell these potentials to potential investors, so they can come and invest in these sectors, so that the country can boom and grow in trade, in agriculture, in services, create more jobs for young people, and then transform this country.
And when you speak of investment-friendly laws, are these laws friendly only to foreign investors? Are they equally friendly to local investors? Because you hear complaints from Gambians who've stayed abroad and decided to come back home and invest, and they get so frustrated at
No, I mean
even processing their documents.
No, I think there's a single window business registration now. You don't have, it takes one day. You go to the bank, you pay, you get your business certificates. But also there is this, I think it's called ASI, and GAIPA is here, and GAIPA is doing a good job in making sure that they give incentives to people who are coming. For example, there are some industries, critical industries, you get tax breaks for at least 5 years. I think it's called ASI, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the name, but these are tax incentives for people who want to come and invest. As long as there's a particular threshold that you need to invest for you to benefit from this. You can bring equipment, and you will get a duty waiver to bring those equipments if I want to start light manufacturing. So all these laws are there, but I think people need to really do more work to find out what incentives are there by going to GAIPA. So if you come to Gambia and you're a businessman or you want to go into business, you go to GAIPA first. It should be your first stop. They'll give you all the incentives that are available for you as a businessman. All the challenges they'll tell you, but also all the opportunities. But if you come and you don't go to GAIPA, you start doing things like at random, sometimes you might face challenges. But currently, as I speak, the climate is very friendly. The environment is friendly. We bring in policies and laws to make it easy for people to register businesses, but also to run their businesses in this country. We've seen an explosion of small industries in this country recently, particularly in the hospitality industry. An explosion of small restaurants, bars, cafes, logistics companies. They are growing. I mean, the SME, I don't get it right, I'm not so with the right figures, but we have a lot of SMSEs that have registered in this. There's been an explosion in this country for the past 5-6 years. And young people are doing very well in this sector.
It's amazing. how a simple question as where were you last week?
Yes.
You know,
They're all related.
Can lead to.
Yes.
All right. Again, welcome back. And
Thank you.
as usual, we start with
Yes,
updates.
updates. The first update has to do with the visit of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, the President of Sierra Leone, but also the chairperson of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments. President Maada Bio just elected in Abuja to be the chairperson of ECOWAS, and as part of his election, he's going around having consultative meetings with regional heads, discussing in particular peace and security in ECOWAS, but also peace and security in the Sahel regions. Remember, if Sahel implodes, there's a spillover effect that can affect also our countries in the ECOWAS sub-region. So therefore, he's going around discussing with regional heads about the measures that can be taken to promote peace and security in the Sahel, but also in ECOWAS. But I've seen people saying that he came, some disingenuous people, let me just underline with bold that word, disingenuous people, going around saying that he came to implore on the president not to run for a third term, and then the president disagreed, and that he left early because of the disagreement. That is far, far, far from the truth. The third term issue was never discussed. The president, in fact, he's been in Cape Verde. He was in Guinea-Bissau. He'll go to Senegal. He's going around the ECOWAS region to discuss with regional heads about peace and security in the continent, as in his capacity as the chairperson of the ECOWAS heads of states and governments.
Why was the promised press conference cancelled at the last minute?
Timing. He was supposed to go to Cape Verde at a later time, but the message was that the Cape Verdean president was supposed to travel, was an emergency travel, so he had to bring back his time to Cape Verde. So he had to cut his stay short to go to Cape Verde, so he'll be able to meet the Cape Verdean president. That was it and nothing else.
Okay.
Now, the other one has to do with the tractors as part of the government's drive to mechanize agriculture in this country, but also to lay the groundwork for a shift from subsistence farming to large-scale commercial farming, but also to support farmers. His Excellency the President officially handed over 60 tractors to Gambian farmers at subsidized rates. It's supposed to 180 tractors. The first batch of 60 has been distributed on Saturday at Makati Square. This is part of our drive to modernize agriculture, improve productivity, but also promote food security.
Why subsidize? Give it to them free.
Well, tractors are expensive, and if we had the resources as a government, we'll give them for free. But because tractors are expensive, we cannot give every farmer a free tractor. That is the reality. We don't want to raise expectations, but at least subsidize, whereby you pay 25%. 25% is paid for by the government, and you pay the 25%. The 50% you pay by installment over the next couple of years.
So 25% down payment upfront.
Yes. Then 25%.
How much is a tractor? If you say tractors are expensive, how much is a tractor?
25% is, I know that is 600,000, I think.
600,000?
25%.
Whoa.
Then government pays the 25%
so then
for you.
It's 2.4 million then.
Something like that, then, if that is the case. Then government pays the 25% for you at government's costs, and then the 50% you pay over a long-term period. But the tractor becomes yours. We cannot, no government in the world, in fact, the richest countries in the world don't give farmers free tractors. So Gambia should not be an exception, particularly a country which is resource constrained. We cannot actually give farmers free tractors. I've seen some people in some quarters saying that if we can give ministers SUVs, ministers don't own this SUV. The SUV still belong to the state. If I'm not minister anymore, this SUV goes to the next minister.
But you're giving National Assembly members free cars that cost more than the tractors.
No, it's not free cars. The money is they pay for it from their salaries by installment over a period of time. So it's not like it's free. But for cabinet ministers, these cars don't belong to us. These cars are still state cars. They still belong to the Gambian state. They're assets of the state. And when we are not ministers anymore, these cars stay with this. We don't go with the cars. So for the tractors, once the farmers finish paying, it becomes their tractor, it becomes their property. And there is no country in the world, people have to be realistic, that give free tractors to its farmers for free. Even the richest countries, even the oil-rich countries that are awash with cash don't do that. So why should Gambia give farmers tractors for free?
All right, let's hear more updates.
Now, the other update has to do with the arrest of Mr. Abdullah Sanyang.
Oh, my guest.
Yes, your guest.
Last Thursday.
Yes, the public is informed that that Mr. Abdullah Sanyang, a former military officer, was arrested on the evening of Saturday, 17th August 2025, between 2100 hours and 2200 hours at the Banjul International Airport. The arrest was executed by airport security officials based on information obtained via the flight manifest. Currently, Mr. Sanyang, at that point, he was detained at the airport police station and handed over to the Criminal Intelligence and Interpol Bureau for routine background check. He was then transferred to Brusubi police station, where he was interviewed in connection with statements made during his appearance on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez program aired on Thursday, 14th August 2025. The remarks are being assessed for potential national security implications. Mr. Sanyang is in custody at the Brusubi Criminal Investigation Department as investigations continue.
Okay, and you made the point that at that point in time, so where is he now?
That's what it said. That
where could he possibly?
He remains in custody
Okay.
at the Brusubi Criminal Investigation Department as investigations continue. As at that time we got this press release.
And Mahdi has put out a statement seeking clarification about this national security, whatever.
The police are investigating. It's under investigation.
So you can't say anything
The
more.
police are investigating. Okay. It's a matter under investigation,
All
and
right.
Mahdi should know better.
Let's move on then. What's the next update?
The next update has to do with FGM. Government statement on FGM-related tragedy. A young girl, 1 month old, lost her life through FGM. And the government of the Gambia deeply regrets to announce this tragic incident, resulting in the loss of an innocent child's life due to the illegal practice of female genital mutilation. Now, this heartbreaking event serves as a painful reminder that FGM is banned in this country, and it remains to be banned in this country under Gambian law, and that we must protect every children, and protection of the girl child in particular is a collective responsibility of all citizens, communities, and institutions. The government remains committed to ending harmful traditional practices and calls for national unity in protecting the rights and well-being of all children in this country. So we condemn this act. FGM is banned, and anybody found practicing this illegal law will be dealt with the full force of the law. And I think the public should take note of that.
What about people openly promoting FGM?
Well, it depends on, that's for the police to check whether they've crossed the red line in breaking the law. If there is, the police should do their job. Nobody should promote, and I repeat, should promote illegal activities. And I think if anybody is promoting it openly, the law should take its course also. Because if it's an illegal activity, nobody should promote it. So if somebody acts in a way which is in contravention of the law, insofar as this issue is concerned, we urge the police, the government really thinks that the police should do their job and make sure that they bring these people to justice.
And if they are not promoting but defending the practice when it's been, publicly proven, as in the case, unfortunately, of this unfortunate child, what should happen to those people?
Like I said, I'm not an expert in law. I think the police should know where the red line has been crossed and where the law can come into effect. Whether you are promoting it or defending it, depending on the language and the rhetoric you are using, I cannot generalize to say this, because it depends on how you are doing it. But what is important is that the practice is illegal. Now, don't know the specific law which talks about defending it, so I don't want to get into that. But I know that the police are doing their job, and anybody who is found wanting of breaking the law must take its course.
Any more updates?
Yes, the Minister of Youth and Sports is indeed doing a very good job for young people. Last month, they gave $7 million to African school games, and they gave $1 million to basketball team in the Greater Banjul area, and $200,000 was given to the Berewoleng female football team, who are going to play in the championship.